Good afternoon, viewers. I, Chandan Ganguly, welcome you all to this session of building multi-container app and development server along with it. We will also implement network, persistent storage, and database security. Before that, let me introduce myself and the organization I represent. My name is Chandan. I have 23 years experience in information technology. I represent SHA Infotech Solution Private Limited. We at SHA deliver DBA, data science and cloud solutions. We have our own training wing, popularly known as SHA Data University. There, we train professionals at every level in database administration, data science and cloud. So, not wasting any more time, let me start the session. Before starting, my request to you all is to like, share this video and subscribe to our channel for more technology contents. Also, please mention in comment section if you want us to cover any topic on cloud, data science and database administration. So to begin with, let us start by displaying my system configuration. By that I mean software configuration of the system. So I have Visual Studio Code for editing the code. I have Node.js which is installed, and I have MongoDB which is installed. So here is my MongoDB. You can see that there is nothing in this database. This is on-premise installed in my local host. You can see over here, and this has no records right now. So so we will just start with Visual Studio Code and explore our folder. So I have my code downloaded in the folder, like say here I go. Here you can see. So this is the backend, that is the application server which is on Node.js. So here we have this application which is app.js installed over here, app.js downloaded over here. So this is JSON. So here is the author of this code from whom I have downloaded it, and we have dependencies, Express, Mongoose, Morgan for this backend code. Also, we have another server, that is the front-end code, which is the React.js server. So here we are, it is the React.js server. This is so in the source folder, as we all know, here is the application. So this is actually a kind of a very small application where we can set our course goals. So let us try one by one to build the applications. So first we will go ahead with the front-end system. So we will open the folder here. We will go ahead with the backend system. So here is it. I will start a terminal, a new terminal over here. So Node is already installed, so I need to install the dependencies first. So this is done. I need to run the app.js, but I will run it from another terminal. So let us go ahead and build the front-end code also. Yes, it is opened. It is the app.js. I will open a terminal, and the same thing I need to do is just npm install. So it would take a time because it installs. Actually the dependencies are quite high over here. If we go to the package.json file, you can see there are a lot of dependencies, and this one will start with scripts, that is the React script starts. I will have to put that command over here. let it get installed. So when the front end builds, let us start the backend server. So what we will do is we will go to the command prompt. We will go d colon today cd backend cd code cd backend, and here we can here I can see the app.js is there. So what I will do is I will just start node app.js. So it shows it has connected to MongoDB. So let us minimize this window. I will open another command window to start the backend front end. So we are in front end. So what I will do is npm start. So here we can see it is starting up. Yes, so it is like first one I would say node add goal. So here the goal comes, we can delete also clicking that. So first is node, I add a goal, then is react, I add a goal, then is mongo, I add a goal, then is java, I add a goal, but I can see that I had mistaken, so I will just click it so that it is deleted. So this is the basic functionality of the app. So here just we will just do a refresh. System is a bit slow. So here we can see that this database is created. We have 3 records here, and now our goal will be to just let me just put it on a slideshow mode. Okay. So our goal will be to containerize each of these apps. We will also containerize the database. So we will also ensure, because as we know, if you want to check, you can check our earlier videos where by default a container, when it is rebuilt or it is rerun, then the data is gone. So we need to have the data persistence between container rebuilds and reruns. That is, once we redone the container, the data should be there. And then we will introduce changing the code at runtime, but without rebuild, only on rerun. Then we will introduce networking, then we will introduce database security, then we will introduce parameterized calling. So all these things we will see from just in a few seconds. Okay, so this is our current application structure. We have at the bottom we have the MongoDB, the backend database. The backend application server is on Node.js, and the UI is provided by React. So now, how will we deploy it? We will containerize the application as well as the database, so that instead of delivering the entire system we can deliver containers, and the client or the customer we are talking with uh, are working for, they can deploy these containers straight away. No changes are required. And then what we will deploy? We will deploy the internet working or the networking between the container of React as well as Node.js. At this point of time, the container of MongoDB will be there, but it will be accessible to the containers as well as outside the containers. We will build it like that only. Then what we will do is we will build a container of we will put that container of MongoDB also on the closed network, so that only these three can communicate between each other. So we have already seen that this application is running on my system. So next goal is to Dockerize. We will have 3 containers, one for each block. We will build the network. The data stored in Mongo needs to stay even after the container is removed. So we need a volume over here, Docker volume or container volume, whatever you call it. Backend logs must persist. So we need the logs to analyze the performance of our servers. So between the container run or container rebuild, the backend logs must stay there. The backend source code must not need image rebuild. So why this is? This is for the source code. Our goal is to build a development server. So we will build the server in such a way that this source code we will change, but that change will reflect in our containers. We need not rebuild the image or rerun the containers. Just a refresh will work. Or in some cases, for Node.js we will install NodeMon. So for Node.js the backend will start automatically, and for the React there is nothing, just a refresh will do. And both backend and front end. So that was I was telling. So first job is to build the MongoDB container. So here is our app running right now. It is on MongoDB. So first thing is we will stop the database. So here the MongoDB server is there. We will just stop the database over here. Now let us come and do a refresh. So we see that there is nothing, database is stopped, so this one is not working. So now what we will do is let it run like this. We will we will containerize the MongoDB. So for that let me just open another command prompt. So as we know, Mongo is available on Docker Hub. So we will just go ahead and run the Docker build command first, and then we will give a name, we will just go and run our MongoDB system. We will then we have provided the MongoDB name. Now we will build the image, we will just fetch the image from our Docker Hub. So let me see. So it is so if I just go there on the Docker desktop, just I forgot to mention on the prerequisites that I have the Docker desktop installed. I will just open up the Docker desktop to see here MongoDB is running. So there is a database. So the database is up and running. Let us see if we can now save the data. Say we run node.js. So it is not working. Why? Because as we know, for containers we must open the port for them to work, for them to listen. Otherwise they are secluded inside their own space. So what we will have to do is we will just have to stop this one like this. So I pressed Ctrl C, so it has stopped. Now what I will do is I will just add a port, that is, what is the default port of MongoDB. So let us see, it is displayed over here. We can see 27017. So we will just give 27017 and 27017 here for it to run. Also we will at this time we will run it on the detached mode, that is -d. Also we will like to have the container removed whenever it is shut down. So we attach this RM flag also with it. So we run a MongoDB detached on this board. Okay, so we haven't we have stopped the database. No, we haven't stopped it. So that is why it is showing the error. Okay, let me clear this stack also. I don't need them. This is Docker desktop, friends. So because I have deleted the image, so it is pulling the image right now. Yes. Pulling is still going on. Remember, just I haven't stopped the application yet. I have only stopped the database. So at the very first instance, what we are doing is we are trying to containerize the database first. It will be running as a container in our own system, and it will be exposing itself to the port, that is, it will listen to the port 27017, which is the host port over here, and the internal port will be 27017. Stop this download, so it should, so the download should speed up right now. Okay, so I think we have the, yes, image is running, Mongo is running, and it is running on port 27017. So let us see, we will run a refresh. So we can see that this database is running, and we have these three databases. There is no data within because we have stopped the original database and started the container database. So container database is right now running. So let us see the app. So let me just refresh the app. Yes, now obviously it is a new database, so I'll just add it. So we can see data is getting stored. Node.js, we can say Mongo. So we can say the was that React. So React is done, MongoDB is done, Node.js is done. So we have been able to successfully containerize my MongoDB. So right now our app is open and we can see that it is connected with the database MongoDB and Node.js, and our goal will be to change that app.js and build the container. So we will create the Docker file, we will build the we will change the app.js, then we will build the image and we will start the container to see if it is working. So the second phase starts now. So first of all, let me just go and terminate this backend server. So backend server is off now. Let us see what happens. So we can see there is nothing. If we are testing, nothing. So it is giving error. Only front end is running. So now we need to build the backend system. So what was it? This was the front end part. What we will do is we will open the folder, we will open the backend, we will select the folder, and now what we will do is we will create a Docker file. But for the very first thing, what we need to do is we need to change this localhost, because we know that this requires a special container directive to put the container in place, to get it access from the container itself. So I will be accessing the container, so it would be like docker dot internal give me a second please. Okay, sorry, actually I was missing the notepad file in my system, so I just switched to just to download this thing. So it will be host dot docker dot internal. So this would be is mongoose file. This mongoose call we have just changed to from localhost to host docker internal, as now we will have to add a new file over here, and we will name the docker file to build the docker. Yeah, here is the docker file. So first we will install node, so we will just put it from node. Then what we will do is we will set our working directory to be app folder. Then we will copy the package.json file to folder. Then we will do a run to install the dependencies. Then what we will do is copy dot to dot, and then we will run the command. Here we will run node, and we will run the app.js. So this would be the primary construct of this Docker file. Let us go and save. Now we'll also build another file, that is docker ignore. This file is because just to skip the node modules folder. Which we built when we ran the applications locally. So we just need to remember that this docker ignore file will not copy the folders or files I have mentioned over here. So docker file is ready. So the command is docker build -t, then we give it a name, say backend image, and we put dot. So this is it. Let us check again. So backend image building is in progress. Yes, so we have our backend image running. Now we need to we have missed one thing, that is let us see if this works, then we will show that also. So the command is docker run -name, sorry, this -name, we give it docker backend app. Fine, we want it to run on detached mode. We want to remove the application. We want to give it port 8080 to expose itself. And what else? We have given it name, we have given it detached, we have given it RM, we have given it port. So we are good. Now let us give the name back in image. Let's see. So hopefully this will run. Let us see. Yes, this is the docker desktop. So yes, this backend image is running. So it is again open on port 8080. So let's see. Bingo. So we have the successfully stopped the backend app. We have successfully replaced the local host. Successfully replaced the local host with the Docker, and we have successfully containerized the backend. Now let us go ahead to our next topic. Okay, now we will go ahead and Dockerize the front end also. So we will start the Docker file, we will create the Docker file, we will build the image, and we will start up the container as we did earlier. So let's go ahead. First let me take down the local app which is running. So this is the local app, this was the local app of the backend is now converted. This is the front end. So let me stop it and let's see what happens. Nothing is there. Okay, so we have nothing running. Now what we will do is we will go ahead and containerize the backend front end app. So this is it. You can save it, whatever files are there. So open the folder. We will go ahead and on the front end. So it is the front end. First of all, what we need to do, because here what we will do is we will not change the local host over here because it is not required right now. So what we will do is we will just go ahead and create the first docker ignore file. So docker ignore file. Here we just put the name of the folder, node modules. We don't want to copy. So this is the save. and we will now create the Docker file. I made a mistake on the name. So Docker file is there, so we will save again. Then the first command is obviously from node. Second command was we will just we will just put the work directory app, then we will copy JSON over there. Then what we will do is we will run the npm install, then we will copy everything, then we will expose it. This was missing from the earlier, expose it, sorry, here, and at the last we will just execute. We will execute the here we will do it differently. We will just run the npm start to run this app. So this is it, we have everything. Let me see what are the files. Docker ps. So we have the backend image, we have the Mongo. Now we will build the front end image. So simple, just let us build front end image. Start. So building of front end is complete. Now we will run it. So here the name would be again front end app. That's my choice, and this is what we know, that it is on 3000 port, and it is on the front end image. And what we will do is, this one is running on interactive mode, so we will have IT over here. So this is the command. It is docker run -name frontend app -d -rm -p 3000 IT frontend image. So yep, let us see now. So this one is running. So now let us test the front end is run. Sorry about that. So now our front end is up, Node.js, MongoDB, everything is containerized. So first goal is as we did it in our earlier presentation, that we have added a network, so we will add a network to the entire infrastructure. Then we will look about the persistent storage. So let's do that. First, to run a network, what we know is we need to create just docker create network. I will say name it as a goals net. Sorry, my bad. Docker network create goals net. Again a typo. Okay, we have the network goals net already there, so I will just remove the network. Yes. So Now if we put docker network ls, we can see this goals net is running. So what we will do is we will stop the existing containers and restart them with the network. And also we will need to rebuild the Node.js app, the backend app, because now that command will not work over here. So we will that docker internal host, that will not work. We will have to put the container name over there. So that if you are interested, you can go to my presentation where I have discussed the basics of creating network containers. So we have discussed it over there. So let us now bring down each of the containers, and I will show you what happens if we bring down one container and then we start the containers again. So that will give us the use case for persistent data. Thank you. So first let me bring down the containers. So here docker docker ps. So we can see that 3 containers are running. So what I will do, docker stop backend app and mongodb. So it is just stopping the containers. We can see if we go to the Docker desktop, it will be more easy. Here if I go and see, here front end, all the images are there, but containers are removed. So we don't have the containers. Now what we will do is we will just start the containers with the network image. So let us start the container with the run the containers as we did earlier. But before that, what we need to do is we need to change the backend application. So we go to the backend application, open it. Yes. So in the app.js, here if I put a network, so it will take the container name. So I am giving the container name as mongodb. So here we will have it this way. So let me save. I think everything is saved. So first I will start the mongodb container. So it is this one, but right now we don't need to expose it to 27017 because we are secluding the command, secluding the database into the internal network only. So our run will be only mongodb without the .p /p. So we are running the mongodb over here. So if we go and check here, if we check a refresh, so the local host is not available over here. So again I will just stop it, because what I did was I did wrong. So what I should have done is minus name minus network. Yes, network, and I have put goals. So I will include that in the network itself. So it is now up and running. If we go ahead and see here, if we put docker ps, so our mongo container is already running. It is available on the port 27017. But if I go over here and check again, we will just press connect. So you see it is error because I have secluded the container on the our internal network only. Now here first I need to build the backend code again. because I have changed the backend code to MongoDB right now. Now I will run the backend app same with port 8080, and now I will run the I will build the front-end image. I think I am in the backend only, right? So I open the folder, I go to the front-end folder, select the folder. Obviously we don't need a build over here, we just need to run. Nothing has changed over here, so we will run the front-end app straight away on front-end image. So I think everything is running fine. No, the backend app has crashed. Let us go to the backend. Here it is. So we have MongoDB :27017, everything is there, so it should have run, right? But if it hasn't run, so we need to do some troubleshooting over here. So let us see what was the thing, why it is not running. So what we will do is we will remove this -d and -r, this one. Let me see. It is trying to communicate with the backend image, and the mistake was we didn't provide it the network. That's why it went down. So it is a very simple thing. What we didn't do is we didn't give it a network. So backend app is great, but what we will have to do is we will have to give it the network name. So minus network goals net. Okay, backend app is already running, so I have to stop that. Docker stop. Is up, and but let us see. Docker ps. Okay, all the three applications are up now, and let us see how our application is doing. Just put a load. So see, because we have restarted the container of the MongoDB, the data has not been saved. So we will try to keep the data intact. So we will add a volume over here. Testing. Node. So it is working. Only thing is that the container must survive the volume. So the container must survive the restart. So that will be our issue. Oh man. Okay, so now what we will address the persistent storage for troubleshooting the MongoDB network container restart issue. So what happens is, if we need to shut down the system, say this is my personal system, so I will obviously shut it down. So let me do it. Just docker stop mongo. I will do that. I have stopped the container over here. and again I will run. So if I go ahead and run this, what will happen is that this application, whatever data stored in it is gone, because every time we are running the application with a RM flag, the data is getting lost. So what we need to do is we need to make that application persist the data. So for persistent of the data, what we will need to do is we will just go ahead and keep it we will go ahead and we will create volumes, and we will attach the volumes on whenever the container runs. So what we need to do is first we need to create a volume. So what is the command for that? Let us go ahead and see. So we have gone to Docker Hub to download the Mongo image. So we go ahead. Here is the Mongo image we have used. So in this Mongo image, what happens is that data is not staying. So here there are certain commands which we can give while running, that is creating volume, and that is told over this help. So I am just going ahead and just trying to get it. So here it is. So here the topic is where to store data. So where to store data should be taken from this command, these help options, that we will have it. We can just create a what you call it is a folder or a v folder or a minus v argument we need to give to create a volume within it, and within that we will be able to sustain the data which we have entered. So the command for that is -v. Okay, and what we will do is, see here, this is the path DataDB where Mongo stores data. So we will just give this one -v. We will give our own path, that is or I would like to give it not in this way. It is telling that you can mount this database on this on this path, but I don't want to do this my own data directory or map it to my device folders, because this tends to this one exposes our data, so we don't want to be doing that. So what we will do is we will use part of this command and part of we will just give it a named volume, that's it. So what is the syntax? Let us copy this from here, then I copy this over here, I come here, I paste it. So / name is some Mongo, we gave it MongoDB. Then this one, what we will do is we will just name it a data MongoDB -v / DataDB -d Mongo. -d Mongo. Also we have the network part over here, so we need to give -rm. Then we need to give network, which is goals.net, and then we will just goals.net. Okay, MongoDB already exists. So what we need to do is we need to just stop the container, because because we have already started it, so we need to just stop MongoDB. Stopped it. Now again we give it a start. So we have started now, and we have gave this one v data. We have gave this part, that vdata.db, and this should persist. This one is the way to have it persisting. So here let us just so here we have two testings over here. I'll just remove everything. We give node.js testing and goal, node.js and goal, then node and goal. So it is working. Now what we will do is we will go ahead and stop the container. Again I am restarting the container. So let us see now. It was localhost 3000. So yes, this was our objective in this presentation. So we have persistent storage for troubleshooting MongoDB container restart issue. So there will be another extension to this video. We will be adding bind volumes. Just as we added a named volume to persist the data, we will be adding bind volumes to it, and we will change the code dynamically. Wait for the part 2 to come. Thank you. Have a nice day. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video. Subscription should be on our channel. This is Chandan. Thank you as always. Bye bye.